right, everybody. This is Wildcat Chat. I'm Ronnie Dye. Wildcat Chat is a podcast brought to you by Maple Grove Baptist Church Student Ministries. And we want to do a podcast to promote the positives in our community, highlight students, teachers, administrators, community people, businesses, you name it. If it's positive, we want to promote it. And we're here as a ministry to our community to inform people. We're going to broadcast games, live football games this season, and we're going to interview people during the week and try to get this show out once a week, and just as a positive thing. So glad to have you with us for Wildcat Chat. I want to speak with Mr. Anthony Cossey. Anthony Cossey works for the Poinsett Democrat Tribune as a sports. Is that right?
Yeah, Poinsett County Democrat.
Poinsett County Democrat Tribune, yeah. So, but he does the sports and stuff out there. Probably has some other jobs, I guess, in at the paper. But Anthony, just kind of want to get to know you a little bit. Let the people of Truman. Some people may not know you. Of course, I do. I've known you for a long time. Right. You a Truman alum, class of 85, and so I'm just going to have Anthony just kind of catch us up on who he is and kind of how he's in Truman and that kind of stuff. So if you would just inform us a little bit.
All righty. Thanks, Ronnie, for having me today. My name's Anthony Cossey. Like you said, I'm class of 85. Grew up here in Truman, except for a 10-year stretch that we spent in Alabama at a children's home. Truman's been home all my life. Married a girl I went to high school with, Kim, and we'll celebrate 32 years this coming November. And like you said, I work for the newspaper. I cover sports for Poinsett County. We pick up Bay when they start their basketball season, run through baseball and softball. Sell ads for the newspaper also, and just recently just started a new business, Cossey Photos, and specialize in action sports shots, and keeps me pretty busy.
Yeah, so tell us about the Cossey Photos. I know you have a Facebook page. Do you have a website yet or anything?
I don't have a website yet. That's something I'd like to get into, but just taking baby steps, just getting the business started. Something I've always wanted to do, just
right.
See if I could make a go at it, and it's been pretty good so far.
Okay, so you do pictures for Truman, Bay,
Harrisburg, Moultrie, EPC.
Yeah. I noticed just following you on Facebook, you do like pictures. Right now, you're doing pictures this summer. Like you go to tournaments,
yes,
take
sir.
pictures. How can people who maybe want to have pictures of their child, how can they contact you, or how can they let you know that they want that to happen?
The best thing is to contact me through my Facebook page. You know, just shoot me a message. Word of mouth has worked a lot. Just you know, as I've gone to tournaments and shot the local teams, I've gotten to know a bunch of people from other towns, and you know, I've shot several out of town teams. You know, that I normally don't cover, but you know, I always want to go and shoot the county kids, you know, for the newspaper when I go to these tournaments. So I try to hook up with one of them.
Right. Okay. I noticed. I know this just from my experience at ASU. I know that one of the pictures that you took at ASU is like they took it and blew it up and put it on the wall there at one of the facilities. What was it like to have? You know, I know they've hired you a couple of times to come in and take pictures. So apparently they must be impressed with your work. And for them to put that picture up for everybody to see. And
right.
Can you describe that picture? And
yeah, just it was gosh, I can't remember who they were playing. It's been a couple 3 years ago, but game went into overtime, and ASU come down, scored to win the game. And you know, most of the time when you're shooting, you know, you're shooting the individuals and you know the players you want to shoot, but after the game, I know everybody was just celebrating, so I was just shooting groups as they was coming across the field. And of course, don't look at the pictures and stuff until I get home. And just I caught Coach Anderson and two other players just doing a three-way high five, and you know, I thought it was a cool picture, and I posted it. And then a few weeks went by, and the school contacted me, and they said, "Hey, we'd like to use that picture in the players area." And I said, "Well, sure. You know, you can use any picture I've ever taken."
Yeah.
And so they called me a few weeks later, and they said, "Hey, man, we used that picture in the thing, and we just want to say thanks again." And I said, "Yeah, you're more than welcome." I thought it was just a picture in a frame and stuff. And then Carlos McCants invited me up to go look at it and stuff. And we walked in the players area, and it was floor to ceiling, you know, wallpaper in one of the corners. And I was like, man, that's nice. I just, I wasn't expecting that at all. But it, just an honor. I call that icing on the cake. I just just called one year and said, "Hey, I'd like to come shoot some pictures." And I'd be more than welcome to give them to you and let you use anything you want. And it's, this will be my 4th or 5th year to shoot up there. And they've called me to shoot a couple times for when they couldn't find a photographer and stuff. And it's, like I said, it's just an honor. But them college players are just like these high school kids and youth kids. I've gotten to know a few of them, and they'll contact me at nights after the games and say, "Hey, did you get any pictures of me today?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, man, give me just a few minutes. I'll get you some on." It's just making them kids smile. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I know you do good work because you did some pictures for us with Grayson during his career, and I appreciate that. Yeah. But I know that there are a lot of folks here that maybe they've seen your work and they just don't know how to do that. So that's why I asked that question: how a person can contact you. Word of mouth is basically what you've done so far.
Right.
Without a website, it's hard to.
Right. Got some business cards ordered. Hopefully they're going to be in this week, and I can start passing them out at the tournaments. And
good deal. So how long have you been taking pictures?
About 15, 16 years.
So you started because y'all were at the what's the name of the place?
Big Oak Ranch.
Big Oak Ranch, right, in Alabama, and that's where you started.
It is. I've always loved taking pictures, but we went on a vacation there, and probably lost them. Probably 100, 150 pictures just due to the quality of the camera and stuff. And that's when I decided to buy my first big camera, big DSLR. And it's just I've progressed from then. I've gotten got a lot of help from people out there, and just write notes down and and everything, and just remember stuff that I've done, and settings you shoot at. But the most important thing is just shoot pictures. That's the way you get better. You just shoot and shoot and shoot.
Yeah. So you've not had any formal training,
not at all,
as far as taking pictures and stuff. Not any classes or anything like that. That's pretty cool. What do you think would be your favorite picture that you've ever taken in the sports world?
Probably the one day shoot.
The Blake Anderson, yeah,
right.
Cool. So I mean that one has been noticed, and of course it's been blown up and all that stuff. Now I know this because you shared this with me before. Like you'll take pictures of maybe these kids that are going to go off and play somewhere,
right?
Your Malik Monks or your players that really good players that are going to go to the next level. And I know sometimes you'll take pictures and you'll have those printed out, and you'll have those kids autograph those pictures, and you hang them up in your office or someplace. Yeah, that's pretty neat little deal.
It is. It's just and a lot of time picture taking's luck. You just you push that button at the right time. But being a sports person, I tend to kind of think what the team will do and what play they'll run, and just putting yourself in the right position to get that picture is a lot of it. It's not just a lot of people think it's just going out and taking pictures, but it's a lot of work. You gotta move around, put yourself in the right spot.
Yeah, and I know, of course, working with the paper, being a Truman guy, I know you would love to be at Truman every Friday night, every Thursday night, but with your job, you've got to go to different schools, and so sometimes it's hard for people to. I've seen people get mad about that. It's kind of like, well, why are you not shooting Truman games? Well, you have a job to do.
I do.
And so you have to cover different schools as well. And so I know that's a hard thing for you to have to, because you have to decide which games you're going to go to. And I'm sure you do that at the beginning of the season.
I do. County matchups take precedence over everything. And then I'll just go down and see, which games who's playing where. And I try to make it even. I try to get the same amount of coverage for each team. And, sometimes, one team may get, a game or two more than the other, but it's just the way the schedule works out.
Yeah. So, I know also you're a busy guy because you cover some Pee Wee games as well.
I do.
Yeah. You not only in Truman, but in the Poinsett County area, you cover Pee Wee. And so I know that, I mean, when do you have time to sleep, and when do you have time, because you have to not only take the pictures, but you have to go through all those pictures, and then you have to decide which ones, then you have to sort them, and then you have to, especially if people are buying these discs that have their kids' pictures on it takes a long time to do all that stuff. So
it does.
You get like 2 or 3 hours sleep a night or something?
Yeah, maybe a little bit more. It's just just from doing it so long, I just, I know how long it's going to take me to raffle through, a weekend worth of pictures and stuff. And, a lot of times I'll just, I'll take an hour or two a night and just, it usually takes about a week for me to get from one tournament to the next to get the CDs ready and put in the mail. But it's just a joy. It's just, going, taking the pictures and seeing the action through the lens is one thing, but when I get to go back through them and look at them and actually see the smiles on the faces and the determination on the faces, it's just it's it brings that to the parents that they don't get to see.
Right.
I know they're watching the game and they're all intense, but just to get that certain look on a child's face and then share it with their parents, it's pretty special.
Yeah. I thought about you in one of my classes. It was the semester before last, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he came in and spoke to our class. It was a multimedia class, and this guy had a book. He brought the book, and it was about 2 inches thick. And back in the 70s and 80s, this guy was hired by the NFL to take photos, and he had all access pass to go into the locker rooms, down on the field, everywhere that the football players were. He got to take those pictures, and he got to choose where he was going to go. So he got to go to every stadium in the NFL and take pictures. And he published a book with all of his work in it. And it was about 2 inches thick, this book was. And I thought, man, that would be a cool job to have, to be able to travel and the NFL take pictures of all these people. He had pictures of Terry Bradshaw and some of those, old greats. And so, but I thought, man, Cossey's doing that here at the high school level and at the Pee Wee level. So that's pretty cool deal. We're going to take just a break, just a moment, and then we'll come back. I want to ask you about your high school career. So be thinking about kind of those moments that stood out to you as a Truman Wildcat when you played back in the 80s. What maybe some of the guys you played with and that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about that when we come back just a second. If you need a T-shirt for the family for fundraisers or special occasions, give my buddy Jamie Carter a call at Carter Graphics. Jamie's a Wildcat alum and provides vinyl heat transfer and screen printing on T-shirts and other clothing. Carter Graphics, screen printing that makes sense. Give Jamie a call today at 870-275-7997. That's 870-275-7997, or email him at cartergraphics@yahoo.com. Again, you've been listening to Wildcat Chat, brought to you by MGBC Student Ministries. If you want to be a standout, come join MGBC Student Ministries, where students are called to stand out, to be different, to rise above, to lead the way. MGBC Student Ministries is for 7th through 12th grade students, and we meet on Wednesday nights from 6 to 8 p.m. at The Grove, which is located at 233 Highway 463 North, next to Al's Barbecue. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. All right, we're back here. Wildcat Chat. This is Ronnie Dye. Wildcat Chat's a new podcast brought to you by Maple Grove Baptist Church Student Ministries. We're focusing on the positives in the Truman community, in our school, and our community, and just want to promote the positives, hit the highlights, and talk about standouts in the Truman area. Here with Anthony Cossey from Cossey Photos, and also from the Poinsett County Democrat Tribune, sports writer, editor, sports everything, I guess. Right? Are you still in ads and that kind of stuff as well? Are you still doing some of that?
I do. I've just recently went back, into selling ads. I just do the newspaper only. We have some special publications we do every year, but they've dished them off since I do full-time sports. They just let me take care of the newspaper, and it's keeps me that keeps me busy too.
I know you did a piece. Actually, I don't know if you do this every year or not, but I know in years past, at least a couple of times, I've seen you do like these little magazines, sports. Like you'll cover. I know one year you covered all the state champions in the Poinsett County or in your area,
right?
And there was a pretty nice little magazine, nice color, the interviews with players and coaches and all that kind of stuff. And then I know in years past you've done a preview of Poinsett County teams. I do. Is there plans to do that this year, or is that?
Right, we do that every year.
Okay.
Right now I'm in the process of putting together the football tab. I'll start interviewing coaches at the beginning of the next month, and we'll that usually runs the last week of August, right before football season starts, and we do a joint effort with our sister papers, Town Crier, Manila, and the Clay County Times Democrat and Piggott, and we highlight all the teams that we cover, and junior high and senior high both, and it's usually a big hit.
Okay. So let's talk about Anthony Cossey, the Truman Wildcat football player.
All right.
So in high school, you played football. Did you play any other sports?
Played baseball my senior year when they started baseball back.
Okay. So they started your senior years when they started
Right.
back. Cool. Now you graduated in '85.
Yes, sir.
So who were some of the players that you played with back in those years?
Oh gosh.
Obviously, Albert Shelley.
Albert Shelley.
Yeah.
Brian Kelso. Carl Holt. I think they were seniors. They were seniors my sophomore year. Melvin Shelley, Timmy Renshaw, Melvin Dykes, Ryan Richardson, just Gary Walker, Wayne Ewan, the list, just lots and lots of old memories, old friends.
So what was the team like back then? Were y'all a pretty successful team? Did y'all win a lot of games, championships, or anything like that?
Albert senior year, which is my sophomore year, we probably the best season we had. Can't remember. I think we might have went 8-2, 7-3, but advanced to the
hosted a playoff game here.
Yes, sir. Went to Greenwood first, beat them. Freezing cold night, and then come back and played Stuttgart in second round at home, and got put out.
I remember that game. I remember coming to that game because I remember Albert Shelley was playing. It was like, man, that dude, he was a senior, and I think I was in 7th grade at that time. So, but I remember watching him thinking, man, he was something special.
Yeah.
So what are you played under Coach Greenwell,
Did.
Coach Wazonia?
Did.
What was it like playing for those guys?
It was good. It's a lot of fun times. They pushed us hard, practiced us hard, but looking back now, they're just they were doing what they're supposed to do to get the best out of us.
Yeah.
A lot of days that you don't want to practice, and you want to do your thing, but for the betterment of the team, everybody just had to pull their own weight and do what it took.
Yeah. So what was your position on the team?
I played offensive tackle and then played defensive guard, and then I kicked my junior and senior year.
Okay. Now, kicking, I remember there was one game.
Right.
I think it was against Rivercrest.
At Rivercrest.
So describe that game, because I think you kicked the last second field goal or something like that.
I did. I guess my 15 seconds of fame in high school. We battled all night, just a back and forth game, and come down with the opportunity, to kick a field goal with I think it's 19 seconds left in the game. Luckily, composed enough to make it, and held on to get the win, and it was a great feeling.
Yeah. So who was the holder on that play?
It was Greg White.
Greg White, because I always think about those game-winning field goals. It's always the kicker who gets all the credit, but
Right.
if the holder doesn't hold the ball, it's kind of like there's a key component in that whole thing. Then you got the center as well. Whoever snaps the ball has to get it there.
Right.
It's a timing thing on those kicks like that. One thing I do remember about you, Anthony, was most kickers that you see in the NFL or even in college, they'll walk back 3 steps and they'll take 2 steps the other to the side.
Right.
You didn't do that. You was a straight ahead kicker. I remember you just took back about 3 or 4 steps and then went straight ahead.
Yeah, I just it's the only way I knew how. I tried the soccer style, I guess is what you call it, and I never could get the knack of it, so I just kicked straight on.
So what's the longest field goal that you ever made in a game?
That 30 yards.
30 yards. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so what's in the plans for Anthony Cossey as we're getting ready to wrap this thing up? What's the future look like for Anthony Cossey?
Well, I just of course I want to continue with the paper as long as they'll have me, and it's just I love my job. I love what I get to do. Get up every day and go and do what we need to do to get the paper out and make it successful each week, and then I'm gonna shoot pictures until I can't shoot them anymore. It's just I tell people all the time, I'm so lucky to get to do what I do. What money I make is it's not the most important thing, but making them friendships with them kids and meeting their parents, and just it's especially when you take one that you start shooting in pee-wees and you shoot them all the way up until he graduates high school. It's just that just means more than anything else to me.
Yeah. So one last question before we close this thing out. How many pictures do you think you take in one game?
in one game. It differs, because of the sports and stuff. A baseball game, I'll probably shoot 600 or 700 pictures. An ASU game, I'll probably get up around 1,200, 1,300.
Wow.
And stuff. Basketballs, it's just, there's not as many players to take care of in basketball. So, I average about 350, 400 in a basketball game.
It's a little bit harder in basketball. The action's all,
It's
constant.
It is. And if I got two county teams, then I'll probably get up around the 1,000 mark. Trying to get everybody covered.
Yeah. So what about equipment? I mean, you can't just go out and buy a $30 camera and shoot the kind of pictures that you shoot.
Right.
What would you say that it would take for a person to even attempt to do that?
Just, I would suggest getting a good DSLR, what you can afford, and get the biggest lens you can get, to start out with. When I first started, I had the first Rebel in the Rebel series, and I had this, 75 to 300, 4.5 to 6.3 lens, and I made do with it, and stuff, and learned to put myself in the positions and stuff. But as I got more and more serious, upgraded to the faster cameras, the more frames per second that you can shoot, and then I bought the sports lens, which is 70 to 200, 2.8. That's preferred lens of most of your sports photographers, and you just it's a lot of money to invest, but for something that it's all I do. That's my hobby.
Right.
I work and I take pictures. That's what I love doing.
Yeah. All right, Anthony, it's been a joy to have you here on the very first Wildcat Chat.
Right. Well, I appreciate you having me.
So we look forward to doing more of these little podcasts and highlighting the positives, man. Appreciate what you do here in our community, in our county, and look forward to some more great shots, man. You've been listening to Wildcat Chat with Ronnie Dye, brought to you by Maple Grove Baptist Church Student Ministries. If you don't have a church home, join us at Maple Grove Baptist Church. Maple Grove is located at 13509 Maple Grove Lane, and everyone is welcome. Our Sunday schedule starts with a biscuit and gravy breakfast at 9 a.m., small group Bible study at 9:30, and morning worship at 10:30. Evening worship begins at 6 p.m. Check us out at www.maplegrovebc.org or call us at 870-483-7990. Maple Grove Baptist Church, a welcoming group of people and a place where you belong.